We also have an Economic Enhancement Committee, which I renamed because part of the Main Street 4-point approach is called economic restructuring. Well, 20 years ago, we needed to restructure the economy here in downtown De Pere. We don't need to restructure it anymore. We now need to enhance what we have. So we renamed that. Plus, it made me think of sending jobs overseas, and I didn't want to restructure our economy. I wanted to enhance our economy.
We have a hard enough time with that.
Exactly. Want to keep that here. Want to
Sure.
enhance it. So we have the Economic Enhancement Committee that's really our economic development outreach group, and we're really starting to focus more on filling the spaces we have, and especially as the downtown plan gets done and we look at redevelopment opportunities, we'll be really putting that group into play to do real true economic development outreach, go out and look for businesses that would complement the mix we have or would be a great new player in our downtown, get them involved. We have meeting tomorrow night, a brand new group with us, and it's our workforce development group. We're launching an effort that's called Bridges to Business, and that's an educational initiative that involves, there's a college level that's called the Beams program, and there's the high school level that's called the Pillars program, because beams and pillars build a bridge, and we need marketing things, and we have a bridge, so we named it that. And that group starts tomorrow night, which is a mix of educators and business people who are working together to get the product that they need, get educated students in a way that they can step into the employment world and be viable right from the beginning. The learning curve has gotten very short in the world of work, so we want to help with that. And at the college level, we're taking the networking that we do at a chamber level and just pushing that to the college level and having college students network directly with business professionals, learn about business etiquette, learn how you network, what's the most effective way to do it. And then at the high school level, we're working on doing in-classroom scenarios that will be for critical thinking and problem solving. Not that that's not being taught at the high school level at this point, but it's just taking the experience of the business community and taking some real-life scenarios for problems that they're actually having and taking them into the classroom and working with the students and having the students work with the business people on solving these problems and just giving them a new way to look at doing things. And so that launches tomorrow night. We're very excited. We have our first visionary sponsor came in at the $10,000 level yesterday, so it was great news for us.
Wow, I guess. You had mentioned something about the fins and feathers.
Yes.
That might be something that you'd like to elaborate a little bit on.
Yes, Fins and Feathers actually had its genesis about 7 months ago. We're sitting at a local downtown establishment after work, relaxing, and there were a lot of cars driving up and down Broadway because 172 was still closed at the time, and we'd had a libation. And I said, how do we get those cars to park and get those people out of the cars and to walk on our streets? We need to get more people out to see what we actually have here. And that conversation led us into talking about the Riverwalk and how that was going to bring people in, and wanted to tie the two things together. How do we tie the river to the downtown and do it in a way to make things work better for both? So what we came up with is what's now called Fins and Feathers. For the longest time it was called the Walleye and Pelican Project. Needed a much better name. So we created this Fins and Feathers Pier Art project, and it's sculptures, and they're made of fiberglass initially. There's going to be 28 of them all over the downtown. 14 walleyes, 14 pelicans. There are 2 different sizes. There's one that's a 4-foot size, 4 foot tall or 4 foot wide, depending on whether it's a pelican or a walleye, and then a tabletop size for either a mantle or a centered piece or something like that, because we don't all need a 4 foot tall pelican in our yard. My husband wouldn't like that, but he'd be fine with having a centerpiece for one. So we have both of these. Now the unique thing about this is that not only are we going to hopefully use it at the end of the project for a fundraiser, not only for Main Street, but also to help with the Riverwalk, but what we want to do is our plan is to turn all of downtown De Pere into a virtual art gallery, because every one of these pieces is designed by an artist, and each of these artists have other pieces. Now, we don't have an art gallery here in De Pere. So our idea is to wherever one of these pieces is placed outside on the streets, that in the business right next to it or even businesses next to it, that artist could have their pieces galleried. So now we get people walking the streets, looking at these pieces outside, and if they like the way that piece looks, go inside the business to look at the other art pieces, and oh, they're in the business, so maybe they'll shop while they're there. So it's an economic development piece as well. We're looking to get the audiences of people who like historic places, because De Pere is very historic and we have all our historic buildings. Get people who are interested in our river, so the nature, scenery, the wildlife, fishermen, those types of people, and then the arts and culture people. So we think that those 4 groups combined together, any one of them separately would be a great group for us to get their attention on De Pere as a destination. But this project gives us reasons for all 4 of those groups to come here. One of the pieces we have is a traveling pelican, mostly because walleye don't generally travel well. And it's slated to go 24 different places in the state of Wisconsin, starting Memorial Day, where it will be in Celebrate, and our walleye or our pelican is planned to be in the Kiwanis De Pere Parade. And then it will go all through the summer, and it will end up at the Fox Cities Marathon, but it's going to go all over the state. And wherever it goes, it's going to have a couple of very energetic college interns with it, who will be passing out maps showing where all the pieces are in De Pere, and talking to people about, come to De Pere, we have art, we have wildlife, we have historic buildings, and getting those people to come here. So it's not just we have these on the streets and we hope people will come. We're going to go out to where there are thousands of people who are interested in trying to get them here.
Well, it sounds like the traveling pelican is a little bit like the Stanley Cup. Only I hope they're not putting the libation and everything into it that you alluded to earlier into it. But that should be an interesting feature, I think. It will also promote the City of De Pere at the same time, and that's really a great thing.
Absolutely, and we're looking for that to do a number of things. Our tourism, create us as that destination, potentially bring new businesses here, because then they can come and see that if a community is doing that kind of outreach for a tourism perspective, and then also not to just get people to come and stay in our hotels and eat at our restaurants and shop in our stores, which of course we want them to do, but also to go into our other businesses and see what else is here, and see the great quality of life that we have here, that those businesses may want to relocate here, go into those new spaces we have available and that we're going to create with this new downtown master plan. So we really think that this is a really unique way to go about doing something that's frankly not done anywhere. This is brand new.